friends, welcome to my little channel. My name is Anna and I am a knitter here in Alberta, Canada. If you have not been here before, welcome, and if you're coming back, I'm so glad that you're here. So I am here in Alberta, Canada, where basically the world is on fire. Anywhere west of here that has forest is burning, and it might be out of control. So it's kind of a weird place to be in, where I'm here talking about my knitting when other people are running for their safety and leaving their homes behind. Here we are mostly safe. We've had a little bit of rain, but also a little bit of the smoke from the fires. It seems that we get more smoke when BC is on fire compared to Alberta. Alberta seems to have the jet stream pushing the smoke north and then south into Manitoba and Saskatchewan. So we have a little bit of smoke, but if the winds shift, then we can suddenly have quite a lot of smoke. It's just a weird time to be alive, it feels like. But at the same time, it's spring and there's so much to be grateful for and to enjoy at this time of year. And all the birds are coming back and it's green. We just need a lot more rain here, and especially northwest where all the fires are. So this is my knitting channel where I talk about all my knits. Basically a show and share where I show you what I've knit, what I plan to knit, what's gone right, what's gone wrong, all that kind of stuff. So today I need to apologize for my appearance. I'm actually going bluebirding after this, so I am dressed for that and not for podcasting. So I'm wearing my rugby sweater from high school, which is my favorite working hoodie. And so after this I will go and check Bluebird boxes with a friend of mine, and hopefully I will put some footage of that at the end of the video here, so that you can see a little bit of that too. And I'll put a little bit more explanation about what that is and what I do and who it's with and all that stuff. So let's just get right into it, since haven't got a lot of time today. So let's start with finished objects. You might remember this sweater from my last episode. It was a little improvised Easter sweater I made for my 5-year-old, and I was able to go to Gathering Threads 2 weeks ago, and I picked up these buttons for the sweater while I was there. These little kitty buttons. I will link all the shops that I have products from below in the description for this video. 5 little buttons. I actually did not make buttonholes on this sweater, hoping that I wouldn't have to add buttons. It could just be an open front. But my daughter was very keen on these little kitty buttons. So I just did an afterthought buttonhole where I take sewing thread and pull the knitting apart in a certain spot and sew it open like you would a buttonhole in cut fabric. And then it makes a buttonhole and it doesn't stretch out as much. It's a little bit tight for some of them, but it'll be okay. It'll work itself out. So she was very thrilled about these little kitty buttons. For works in progress, I have one here that I have on the needles right now, doing a purl row. It is a new t-shirt design. I actually have had almost finished one sample, and then I decided that I actually did not like how it was fitting. So this construction is from the top down. You start with the back neck and the shoulders, and you increase the shoulders quite rapidly. And then from that point, you can decide whether you want to continue and make it into a drop shoulder design where it's wider than your shoulder width and then add sleeves, or you could make it into a set-in sleeve design where you work the sleeves into the yoke of the sweater or t-shirt in this case. However, for the first sample, I tried to do a raglan sleeve, and I didn't really include increases at the bust line, and so I tried to do like a raglan and a drop shoulder combined, which is not the best construction methods to meld. You could do a drop shoulder and a set-in sleeve and kind of mash those together and get away with it. It actually would probably make a really nice fit, but a raglan and a drop shoulder just didn't work out the way I had hoped. So instead of ripping back, I've left that one alone and I've started a new one with 2 extra balls that I had from that design. And I will just knit from that first sample when I run out of this yarn. That way I feel like it's not quite as final, and it doesn't feel like you're wasting so much time having knit a sample that didn't work and then having to spend time ripping it out before you can start a new one. So this is the second sample. You can see that I've split here for the front and the back. It has some garter at the edges. The neckline is cast on, so worked back and forth and cast on as you work down, and then I'll pick up those stitches for the neckline at the end. This is the original sample. Oh, I did rip it out. Oh, I completely forgot that I did that. I think what I had planned to do was rip it out and try and add some increases and see if that helped, but then I decided that the drop shoulder wasn't a very flattering fit with this sleeve. So you can see the sleeve is like sort of like a set-in sleeve raglan, so this a compound raglan. I've probably lost half of you right now, but this front section is not increased while the sleeve is increased. It actually makes for a nice fit if your shoulder fits on your shoulder, whereas this one is hanging off the edge. So it's not quite as nice. And then the edging I did pick up for the neckline on this one, and it's just a simple garter, which I like. So this is knit out of Sadness Garn Line, which is a linen viscose cotton blend, and it's just in white. Color is 1002, and I really like it. The only problem is that it's easy to split the yarn, and I don't really notice because for this one I was going around and around and around, and I would just catch like the smallest little thread, so it almost looks like a drop stitch after you've knit a few more rows. So I have had to go back and fix those ones. Some of them were so bad that I had to rip back and I couldn't just ladder back up. So that's one downside, just be aware of that. It probably, if I knit with wooden needles, I wouldn't have had that issue. Yeah, I'm hoping that this one works out a little bit better. So it's just wider than my shoulders, and I'll just do a simple garter edging on the sleeves. I'll work flat to the end of the armholes and then join to work in the round. That's all I have to say about that. Okay, if you were here the last episode, you might remember that I was working on a hat for my friend's husband. He gave me a whole bunch of birdhouses for my bluebirds, and 52 of them. He made them himself and provided the materials and everything. So I am making him a hat as a small thank you present. And this is it. It's I worked from the top down in a similar way as the Musselburgh hat. The only thing is when you're doing it in ribbing, like this one by one ribbing, your ribbing won't always match up. So you have to, on some rows, have 3 knit stitches in a row, and then the next row will resolve it back to 1 by 1 ribbing, and then the next row will be 3 stitches in a row. So you just have to keep track of that so that you maintain your ribbing throughout the body of the hat. So I think it's done. I won't try it on, but it's quite stretchy, and he wanted a tight beanie. So I'm just going to switch my needle size to a smaller needle and do a couple of rows, and then I'm going to bind off with a tubular bind off. I still have this much yarn left. So that was a 50-gram ball from Woolfolk. It's the Far. Which is sort of like an Aran weight. It's 130 meters for 50 grams. So this only took 50 grams. And I was working on this, and my husband, who is not knit worthy and does not enjoy getting knits as gifts, saw it and was like, ooh, I wouldn't mind that hat. So I'll probably make him one out of this extra skein I have. It's really, really soft, really nice yarn. I hope it wears well. It seems to fuzz quite a bit, so hopefully it will not look too worn too quickly, but it is really, really soft. So I guess that's always a downside of a soft wool, is that it usually doesn't wear as well. But anyway, that's my Musselburgh hat. I just have to switch needle sizes. I don't know why that's such a cumbersome task, but I just need to finish it and block it and give it away. So spring plans and dreams. Spring is always really busy out here. We live out in the country, and we have sheep and chickens, and plan to get some chickens for meat and pigs this year. So there's lots to do, lots of fencing, and I have decided I will plant a garden, even though it's very, very dry here, and I'll probably be struggling with water supply the whole season. I was just inspired by seeing all the farmers around here. They're just out there seeding, like they can't quit just because it doesn't look very good for their crop this year. So I was just kind of felt a little bit entitled in my deciding that I would just buy food this year and not try and grow it. So I will try and plant my garden this Friday. The kids don't have school, so we'll work outside in the garden and hopefully get that planted. There's also the bluebirds to do and monitor and all that. I would love to make another t-shirt after this one. This one's going slow because I have done it twice now, so I don't know that I'll have any time, but I would love to make a Kenosi t-shirt. So the Kenosi tank is a design that I released 2 years ago, I think, and it's been really popular, one of my most popular designs, and I personally really like it too. I would like to make a t-shirt version that has sleeves and that is larger, like it has positive ease instead of negative ease like the tank top does, so it would have a higher neckline and be a little bit more functional for spring, fall, and summer. So I would really like to do that. I've wanted to do that for the last 2 years, make it into a t-shirt, so we'll see if I can manage that this year. For shop news, the Vintage Vibe vest, it has a name now. That's the cardigan vest that I showed you last episode. The testers are doing really well. Lots of them have finished already. It has to go to final tech editing and then it will be ready to be released. So yeah, watch for that it will be announced through my newsletter or through my Instagram. And if you are following me in those places, especially the newsletter where it's not so difficult to actually see the things that I post. Instagram, sometimes you don't see important posts from me unless you like star me as one of your favorite feeds or something. But yeah, if you're following on the newsletter, you will get a discount code for 50% off for the first few days of the release. So be sure to follow me there if you're interested in getting that pattern at a discount. The Brooklyn Tweed collaboration pattern that you are probably familiar with from a previous episode here is ready for testing. I need to finish the body and the other sleeve, but the pattern is written up and it's tech edited and everything. So I honestly just need to take a picture of me wearing it, which I guess means I need to just finish the body and bind off the neck. And then I can just have one sleeve done. Then I will call for testers first through my newsletter. It's the same newsletter as the one for discount codes. I only email out like once every couple months, so it's not very active newsletter, but it's just really the important things that I need you to let you know about. If you get on there, and you can sign up through my website, then that's where I will call for testers for that design. I know that there's a few of you who have said you're really keen on it and want to test it. So yeah, I usually fill up sizes 2, 3, 4, and 5 pretty quickly. And I also have testers that I've worked with for many previous tests. So when they sign up for those sizes, often they get the spot. But this design has 11 sizes this time. So there should be lots of room for you if you're interested, especially if you have some flexibility about which size you can test, then there'd definitely be a spot for you. I usually include at least 1 or 2 testers that have never knitted before. So yeah, don't feel intimidated. Just if you have a Ravelry page or an Instagram account, I usually just check Ravelry because it's just easier for me to check one place. So if you have a lot of projects that are finished and you have, for example, this pattern is a Colourwork yoke sweater. If you have photos of finished circular yoke patterns and Colourwork patterns that the projects you've finished up on your Ravelry page, then that really heightens your chance of being selected, just because I can tell that you're a competent knitter, and I can tell that quickly just by a glance. So just make it easy for me to tell that you are a competent knitter, and you will probably get to be part of the team. Yeah, one more shop news is that there should be a couple patterns coming out in publications. So one of them, which I'm very excited about, is the Taproot magazine. It's a magazine based in Maine, the United States, and it's just a really beautiful publication. It's not a knitting magazine, but they do include knitting patterns sometimes. So I have a spring garment in that issue for June called Blue. So go check that out if you're keen to see it. You can follow them on Instagram to see some of the highlights, some little sneak peeks of everything that's going to be in there, including my design. And I would just recommend signing up for a subscription if you're keen to have a beautiful magazine in your home. It's really varied. They have crafts and homesteading and homemaking kind of things, and also just beautiful photography, and it's really inspiring. So check that out if you're interested. For acquisitions, 2 weeks ago was the Gathering Threads Fiber Festival in in Edmonton, Alberta. It was the second time it's been held within 6 months, but it was like a completely different show from the last one. It was really well done. There was all kinds of interesting things there. There was art displays and some craft guilds, quilting, knitting, machine knitting guilds were there. I brought my girls and my mom along with me, and my girls were just fascinated by the knitting machine. I wish I had taken a video because it just like sucked that yarn up. It was amazing. Just think of all the stash you could bust with that thing. I actually have a knitting machine in my basement that I have never opened up. My mom found it for me from a local thrift store. I don't even know what parts are in that box. She got it for 20 bucks, but I just haven't had the time to, or I've been kind of intimidated by it too. I don't really want to open it up and realize that it's way over my head. So I was just thinking I should join that knitting machine guild, and then they could teach me how to do it. I don't even know whether mine is the fine gauge one, which does like lace and fingering weight yarns, or the bulkier one that does worsted weight and Aran weight yarns. Anyway, they had somebody doing block printing, and my girls got to make some bookmarks. They had a little kids area with craft and a lady who was selling her book that she wrote, and they had candy apples. Like, it was just really great for having my kids along. Still difficult to shop with them, but I was able to get some things. I don't have it with me, but I got a gift for a friend who's dealing with some health difficulties. I got her a skein from Brian Dye Works. It's locally Alberta grown and milled. Actually, it might be BC or Manitoba. I can't remember where that farm is, the Fronstad farm. Anyway, it's prairie local pretty much, and I got her one of those skeins and also a really cute row counter with a bee on it. She's a beekeeper, so that was kind of special. And then I also bought this basket. This is this basket was made in Kenya, but the company that sells them is called Bustani. And I think they're from Vancouver. Really lovely ladies. I met and chatted with one of them, and they just had really nice selection there. I personally have a Kenyan connection, so it was special for me that way. And it's just a really great size. Like, I just put it beside my knitting chair and throw all my stuff in it. I also got this bag from Koigu Yarns, and it has all the different sheep breeds. Not all of them, but some of them. It has Icelandic, Corriedale, Lincoln, Jacob, Wensleydale, and of course it has Shetland, which are my sheep are Shetland sheep. So personally my favorite. Shetland are super tiny sheep, so that doesn't really show up the difference here, but Shetlands are about half the size of a meat breed. I need to decide which project to put in that one. My girls were so kindly gifted some things. Comfy Cozy Knits gave them each a sheep pin. So Ashley is the owner of Comfy Cozy Knits, just a lovely person. She always seems happy to see you, and she's amazingly talented especially at self-striping yarns. So if you're into self-striping, which I'm pretty sure everybody is, I'm into them too, I just don't want to make socks. But she does really amazing self-striping yarn. Yeah, and gave them this really cute pin. I don't have it because my girls have their pins on their backpacks. But that just goes to show how special that was, that little present for them. And then Brittany from Crux Fibers gave my girls each a set of mini skeins. These are Blueface Leicester. This color is called 80s Blazer. Brittany has such a great way of putting colors together. Like, it's the perfect amount of coordination and zinginess in here. I love this. Like, I would never have put this blue in here, but it just is perfect. Has that perfect amount of energy to those purples. So that's for my 5-year-old, and my 7-year-old got this one from Brittany, and this one is called Pool Party. So now it's a gift for them, but of course my girls want me to make something for them with their yarn. So I'm trying to fend that off. As you might know, I am very sensitive to fragrances and perfumes. So when I saw this maker called Jack 59, I immediately asked them if they had anything that was fragrance free. And so they said their Naked set, which is shampoo and conditioner in a bar form, would be a good fit for me. So shampoo and conditioner is very difficult to find fragrance free. I currently order mine online through Amazon, and it's okay, it's just not great. But this stuff I'm really enjoying. So it has the shampoo and the conditioner. You just lather it into your hair, and it's been really great. Not that you can tell because my hair is up for going and working outside, but it also comes in this little handy container that has holes in the bottom so that you can put it in your shower and it will still drain and not stay soggy like that wet soap sog. So I just thought if you are interested in getting some locally made skin products and hair products, that would be a good fit. So far, it's great. I don't have any reaction from it. Interestingly, it has hydrolyzed rice in it, which I think is like, it's adding a certain softness. Anyway, this is the container that's made from hemp. So I kind of thought that was cool too. Really liking that. Yeah, and again, I'll have all the products listed below so you can find them for yourself. Finally, I got this Bluebird sticker. I can't remember what the shop was called. They had a lot of stickers. Most of them were like cheeky with pictures of ducks instead of a certain word that rhymes with duck. But I thought this was really cute with the bluebird. It's not really a bluebird, like it's the wrong shape to be a bluebird. But it's rare to find a completely blue bird, so I thought that was cute. These are all my stickers on my... This one was from Victoria, this one was Jasper, and this one I just thought was fun. It's very Canadian. It says my favorite color is flannel. For farm news, we have 9 sheep fleeces that we need to get spun into yarn. Currently they're just sitting in my garage and my basement. And so my husband and I are planning a trip next week to Rosebud, Alberta, to go to Rosebud Fiber Mill and get those spun up into yarns. So I'm really excited about that. So that's some of the fleeces from last year I haven't dealt with yet. We have 4 from last year, and then the ones from this year too. We're also trying to get some more sheep. I really want Shetlands because I really like them as animals. They're just really sweet and independent and low maintenance. So hopefully we will be able to get some more this year. Alex from Rosebud was able to connect me to a Shetland shepherd west of here, actually close to where the fires are. So hopefully we'll be able to get some ewes and lambs this summer. Okay, I think that's all I have time for today. Hopefully I'll be able to fill this out with a little bit of footage from bluebirding and I hope you are well. I hope you're safe wherever in the world you are. If you're dealing with a crisis, I hope that you can find rest and peace in it and some knitting time. Take care until next time. Bye.